めなさいバカメガネ。
そうか、君が先か。
Now, would you believe me if I told you that this is one of the more comprehensive scenes? Weeaboo culture, who doesn't partake in it nowadays? From 80-hour-long JRPG, visual novels that showcase how little you can actually read, RPG Maker games, and the classic anime and manga stuff. Most people are familiar and keep up with the current ongoing works. In the case for this season, we have some pretty big hitters that have been getting a lot of praise and attention, like the Confident Lele Season 2.
What?
DC's a multi-billion-dollar company, that food scene you've seen everywhere on Twitter, and the Try to Laugh challenge, just to name a few. But what about the others? The ones that aren't mainstream? Well, mixed bag like always. Good and bad. But somehow this time around, we have both at the same time. A balancing act of using other bottom-tier garbage as foundation to build a work of absolute top-tier class out of it.
Wow.
That's Now, most people won't have heard of the show. Don't worry,
What?
I didn't even know it existed. A friend recommended it to me one day, and at a glance, I thought it looked really unappealing. Like, look at this header. It looks like a kids show from 2009. Why would I waste my short and precious time on this earth watching this Ooh! I am a whore for death games. Keep watching till the end for an announcement about that. Damn, what did that sound weird. Fuck! So, when I saw the death game tag, I knew that I, at some point, had to watch it. I did it for a bit until I watched the first 3 episodes with a friend. And after watching those first 3 episodes, something inside of me awakened, screaming and shouting at me to make a video talk about this. And the reason for that is because if I don't talk about this, I'm afraid it's just going to disappear. I feel like one day I'm going to wake up, search the series name online, and find out that there's no information about it because it never existed and I hallucinated all of it. Some of the stuff that happened on my screen was so over the top and outlandish that it must have been fake and made up by my mind. Which is a thought I almost mean myself into believing after I search up information about it online. 3 minutes, awesome. I looked up some videos on YouTube and saw there were a scarily low amount of results. Look at the amount of views these videos have garnished. The opening and ending have barely accumulated 5,000 views. Clips from the episodes we're going to discuss haven't even passed 1,000 viewers, except if they have a clickbait title, and trailers from very big named YouTube channels struggle to reach the 25,000 views mark. This anime is so obscure that I'm not going to put the name of it in my title, because apparently it's like casting a curse on your video. It seems to have a lower chance of popping up during any search result compared to having death in the title, which is shocking. But what's the reason this anime is so unknown? Well, it's kind of because it came out of nowhere. Search it up on Google and you'll find almost no information prior to its release. There's a wiki page, some news article talking about releasing, and if you're lucky, you will find the cover of the first volume of the manga. But you won't find the first volume of the manga in English, or any volume of the manga. So, let's do some digging into Japanese. You can buy it physically and digitally, but when you start looking deeper into this website, you might get confused, because apparently there are 3 Tatsuketsus. The reason for that is because this series is a 3-parter. And it's been going on for a whole decade. So for this series to have gone on for 10 years without any English version is really surprising. And for this video, I'm gonna end my search here. There's a Wikipedia page in English that has some details about this series, and the Japanese Wikipedia page has a lot of information, but sadly, I do not speak Japanese. The only word that I know in Japanese is diary, or Nikki. Get it? That's a reference to my other videos. Guys, I make other videos on this YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And that's something a bad YouTuber who's very stupid would do. Luckily, that isn't me. If it's able to keep on going for an entire decade, there must be someone out there able to vouch for it. And there must have been some fanfare when the anime got announced. I think that there aren't any fans, but apparently that's wrong because there must have been a big crowd that wanted this to happen. Hell, the original series won 2nd place in a contest for most anticipated anime adaptation. Where are they now? I can't find them anywhere, or at least any in English. So, maybe all the fans are just Japanese. And they must also have some very deep pockets because holy shit, this anime must have been expensive to make. Just a glance at the voice actors list will tell you that they put a lot of budget into this. There are some very big named voice actors here. Like who, you may ask? Well, you know, just Daisuke Ono. Man, people who don't watch anime are gonna hate this video. Too bad. And aside from just him, most voice actors here have some pretty notable roles. But being able to afford these names was probably no problem at all. When you keep in mind that the studio behind this is Satelight, which, you know, just works on smaller anime like Sinful Gear, Across, Log Horizon, Fairy Tail, and Helsing. You know, just smaller unnamed, unknown stuff. Despite the amount of big names attached to this project and apparent budget put into it, when you look at the ratings online, it seems to have been a huge flop. But what's the reason behind this low of a score? Well, simply put, it's because the first episode is absolutely fucking atrocious. It sucks bad. I believe that to those who weren't familiar with this prior, this being the first introduction to the series was an immediate deal breaker. And after the first episode, that's where most people stopped, dropped, and gave the low rating. I probably should have moved my microphone for that. Keep that in. And I don't blame them for this at all. It is probably the worst first episode I've seen in a while. But for those of us who stuck around and watched the other 2 episodes, they will realize that they've stumbled upon something truly special. So it's time to finally talk about those first 3 episodes. Only 4 pages into my script because I like to give background information about these projects. Because... why the fuck did I do that? And with that, I have to warn you that we will skip over a lot of stuff from these episodes. I will try to summarize these episodes as shortly as possible, while also highlighting some of the brilliance this anime has to offer. So, I recommend you watch those first 3 episodes on your own. Without further ado, spoilers ahead! Spoiler warning! Episode 1. So like I said before, this episode is a horrible introduction. That is because it's awfully paced and probably the worst start to a death game I've ever seen. So much shit happens in a span of 24 minutes that is actually overwhelming and honestly can get really confusing. Which also means it's gonna be pretty hard to summarize. So, I'm going to try to keep it short, but we'll probably be here for a while. Be warned. The anime starts with them hinting at characters that are gonna be important later on. You can tell they're gonna be important because they're the only ones in color. 15 seconds in, we meet our protagonist, Sanetsu, who's talking to the boring comedic relief, Sato. 30 seconds after that, we get an introduction to the death game. A question pops up on the screen with 2 possible answers. And, of course, since the start of the death game, nobody bats an eye and ignores it. 20 seconds after that, yes, we're going this fast, we get an introduction to Ryuta, the childhood best friend. His role in this is basically, you know, the typical childhood best friend from every death game anime. So it's just, Sanetsu, I know you're giving exposition dump about your family and being gone, but I got to let you know, you're my best friend, and I am here for you. I'm here to help you whenever you need it, and I will definitely not die at the start. Next scene, the protagonist wakes up to find out there's no reception and no signal. So, he said to go to his best friend's house, and the motherfucker is dead. Which means he lived for exactly 1 minute and 57 seconds. This means we have a new world record for the fastest best friend execution in a death game. Bravo! Masterful work. I fucked up the word work. Damn, that sucks. Well, no time to process that because 5 seconds afterwards he gets called over to come to the school. Meet one of these characters. Love interest, blonde airhead, boring design so probably means they're gonna die first, the chosen child, group leader, teacher, glasses man who's really smart, unfunny comedic relief, and blonde motherfucker that's definitely hiding something. Boom! I told you everything about these characters except for their name, which we will learn as we go on. The leader, Tojuro, explains that people died, we don't know why, and no help is coming. This time, a different question pops up on screen. Well, hopefully that doesn't have any consequences. Alright everyone, let's go and meet up here tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and the group leader is dead, which is information so shocking that... Look at this fucking frame, they hold onto it for 2 whole seconds. The reason for his death was because his answer to the question that was on screen was different from the rest of the group. Which means that, my god, the questions must be killing people. What? No way. But how can that happen? We're about to find out. Also, every character just now realized that the blonde motherfucker wasn't with them the entire time, so he's probably doing some funny shenanigans. We'll find out later. Death game rule explanation time, my favorite. I have to be honest, I've watched this episode 4 times now, and I only understood the full scope of these rules after my 3rd watch. So, I'm going to try to make these rules as comprehensive and simplistic as possible. Here we go. The death game is called Tasuketsu, or absent majority for those that never learned Japanese. Every day, blue post boxes or red laptops are put in random selected areas. The participants use those to submit a question with 2 possible answers. They can't be repeated or specific to one person. The first approved question submitted will be displayed on every screen at midnight. Otherwise, a random question will be made up instead. All the people whose answer is part of the majority will die. So you basically have to get lucky and hope that you're part of the smaller group. This cycle will repeat until there's only 1 person remaining. Simple, right? Okay. This is the part where I zoned out because it actually just came out of nowhere. So, pay attention, this is really important. In the randomly selected area, there will be 65 envelopes categorized as rights. There are two kinds of these, normal and prime. Prime are overpowered and normal are just basic. These envelopes give the reader a superpower. You can have one of each max and you cannot get rid of it. So you pretty much have to gamble that you get lucky and not something useless. Okay, that's the weirdly explained rules out of the way. You got all of that? I hope so, because if you miss even one bit of information, the rest of this anime will be almost incomprehensible. Which honestly, may be a good thing because it makes every reveal 10 times funnier. So, forget everything I just said. Ooh, why did I do that? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but the winner gets to meet the Emperor. Which also means we now know who the mastermind is. Which is probably something that you shouldn't showcase in the first episode or introduction of Death Game. Either way, we're only halfway through this episode. So, let's get into the second half because it's about to get fucking crazy. Next day comes. They luckily were in the randomly chosen area to begin with, so they devise a plan to get their questions submitted and meet back up. Glasses man, Ryohei, randomly finds a gun, which this will lead into him becoming the absolute highlight of the series. Also, with him getting this gun, he will now transform into his ultimate form, Gunman. Next scene, Sanetsu and the love interest Saya are at the restaurant where we get two tropes presented, which I'm just going to summarize as we gotta get rid of the mastermind. I'm gonna end this Death Game. And very forced romance. Awful jump cut to the next scene. Actually, I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to talk about the way this anime is cut. These are some of the worst fucking transitions I've seen in a while. Oh my god, it's so atrociously done. And it's so distracting. Scene 1, cut to black for 3 frames. Next scene, repeat over and over and over and over and over. Dude! Open up Premiere Pro, put the two clips together and just right click default transitions. This looks like shit. Somebody out there, make a drinking game for how many times it cuts to black. If somebody does actually do that, good luck to you and your liver. Let's get back on topic, I've gotten distracted. Sanetsu and Saya are now at the school to meet back up with everyone. Here they discuss if they should use the right. Next room over, the chosen child, Jin, is looking for a red laptop. Until out of nowhere, Gunman appears and points his gun to the back of his head. Which... Can they stop putting these type of frames on screen for so long? They're actually talking, there's dialogue going on right now. This looks fucking ass. Don't show this for longer than 1 second. Jin asks him why he's doing this, to which he doesn't respond. Until out of nowhere, he tells him the truth. Whoa, how did that happen? This makes Ryohei go from gunman into crazy gunman mode, as the show becomes 30 times more entertaining. He pins down the child, whoa that sounded really weird, as he spouts the classic line of, "My theory was right. The correct answer is to kill." Jin then asks him, "Are you going to shoot me?" To which he immediately responds with, "Of course I am." Clean response, no punches held back. Amazing, beautiful. Jin then shouts, "I refuse!" as a gunshot brings to the school. The unfunny comedic relief goes to the two lovebirds and warns them that there's an active shooter inside the building. Look at that fucking stride. That's how you know he's out for blood. The three of them run away as the teacher, Sotaru, is outside waiting in a car. Wait a fucking minute, what are you doing? Wait, no. How did you catch up to... What? What's going on? What's this guy green? What? How long were you knocked out for? After fleeing the school... Okay, no. I'm messing with you. Let's dissect real quick this absolute clusterfuck. So, let's start from here. The three on their way and the teacher shouts at them to get in the car, where we will see this little shit just chilling inside of it. How is that little fucker inside of the car? We can assume that the three ran away immediately after the gunshot. So, why is he in the car before them? And more importantly, why are you alive? Never mind that, we have something way more fucking important to discuss. This guy just nonchalantly tanked that. Not only that, he then turns his head, looks the bitch dead in the eyes and says, "Fine, then you'll be the first." I fucking love this character, he's so funny. No reaction at all, complete tanks that. That's how you know he is out here to win. Too bad he gets washed 3 seconds later. Then the sky randomly turns green. I think this is supposed to indicate it's nighttime, but honestly, it just looks like the midnight hour in fucking Persona 3. So that's my canon theory. We're taking place in the Persona 3 world. We see Ryohei limping as he proclaims that he now knows. Which, if this is supposed to be nighttime, how fucking long were you knocked out for? It turned nighttime. If you were knocked out for a very long amount of time, Why did nobody take your fucking gun? They just knocked you out and ran away without taking the fucking prime murder weapon and something to use for self-defense. It's stupid. It's really dumb. This scene was not made for dissecting, goddamn. Okay, so from that we can actually move on. They have now decided that the school is completely off limits. Because apparently Ryohei is just going to permanently stay at the school. He's gonna need to come out and look for a postbox at some point. Which is something that the group failed to do. So, they'll decide to split up and find a postbox before it turns midnight. The protagonist traumatizes to Saya about how sad he is that his best friend died. Is this a normal thing to happen? My friend when he watched this said this was a woman moment. Can anyone verify that? Who am I kidding? No woman's gonna watch this video. Wow, what a cool picture. I wish I could have taken one with the entire group. Oh fuck our group! They run around trying to find them, but the time for the question is nigh. So they decide to go and find out what the question is. Male or female? Uh-oh. You know what that means? One of these two people is going to die. Gee, I wonder, out of these two characters, who is the one that's going to... Oh. But, oh, well, that's surprising to say the least. And that is also our cliffhanger as the episode comes to an end. You know, this would have been very interesting if the rest of the episode we saw wasn't just very badly executed. So, just seeing the protagonist dies and now half of the main cast has died, it just leaves the idea of how are they going to bring them back in a bullshit way, because there's no way they're just gonna leave them for dead, right? But it could also be a protagonist switch, which is decently common in death games, so it's not that surprising or anything cool. Finally, I got through episode 1. Dude, I'm so mad because this first episode is just 6 pages already. I wish I could have cut it down more, but I had to make this long because I had to clarify how much noteworthy stuff happens in 1 minute. It is so abhorrently rushed that I'm not surprised this series got this score just from this episode alone. Mixed that with some horribly executed scenes and some very run-of-the-mill tropes, and it doesn't live up to be anything good. The cliffhanger may have been interesting, but the problem is most people don't know or care enough about these characters to keep watching. This first episode is bad, awful, atrocious, so I'm not surprised that most people stopped watching here. But we aren't most people, we're going to keep watching, because the second episode is insane. The stuff that happens in the second episode is so insane that, honestly, stop right now and write down your predictions of what's going to happen. Keep in mind that this is only the second episode of a death game, and keep in mind everything that just happened prior. Okay, anything you have written down is probably not as chaotic as what's about to happen. So, let's get into it. Episode 2. The episode starts off with Saya dragging the corpse of the protagonist down the street, which, saying it out loud, is kind of a banger visual, but too bad I don't give a fuck about these characters. She meets up with a blonde airhead, Eren, Jaeger, where apparently they are now piling up all the corpses from their group. Eren then glances over at the right Sanetsu had found in the bar. Intro. It is now daytime, as the now lonely pair go and decide to look for some post boxes, leaving the corpses alone. Damn, did they sleep on the floor? Well, with how everything is now in the gutter, how will the show continue? What? Wait, what? Wait, no, hold up, no, stop, wait, what? We, see Jin just get up and walk around, seeing the boring designed girl's probably gonna die first, inserting a question into the post box. He then walks over to the post box and puts a tracker on it. Then it cuts to him finding that same post box, which, I'm not gonna lie, I did not realize that this was supposed to be a fucking flashback. It is so abhorrently and just cut together that it made me think that this was just happening back to back. But this also makes me question something. You could just place a tracker on one of these post boxes? Are you telling me it's the same fucking post box every time? How is it moving around? It's the same one and you can just track it? Also, how the fuck are you alive? As he walks up to the post box, a mysterious purple-haired woman holding a pipe appears behind him, which stops him dead in his tracks. She asks Yin how it's possible for him to still be alive. That's what I'm saying. You know, I think it's time we find out what's up with this kid. So hopefully she's gonna go and interrogate. Damn, what the hell's wrong with you? That's still a child. Once again, Yin forces their attacker to give out information about themselves and if they want to hurt him. And with the answer being yes, he once again shouts, "I reject!" Which you may have noticed from episode 1 to episode 2 that the term and translations have changed. That's because I'm pretty sure the first episode was done with machine translation, which, you know, just shows how much love was put into this. Hikari reference? The purple-haired woman, Rika, sprints towards the child and starts swinging her pipe. And... I don't have any words. Jin answers his question, runs off. Rika is shocked as she gets fucking tased from behind. A mysterious redheaded woman shows up and inserts 2 questions into the postbox, also revealing that she has a prime right. Removing the GPS tracker from the postbox, she turns around to taunt Rika for her falling on her pipe and starting to bleed. What? You must have cut an artery when you fell? I know the pipe was sharp for some reason, but how do you fall onto the pipe to cut an artery like that? Look at how she fell. Somebody draw in MS Paint a realistic way for her to fall down and cut her artery when she fell on it. The red-haired woman, Hikari, tells her she knows a way for her to survive, as it cuts to the next scene. It is now nighttime. The lonely pair are now backed with the corpses to watch the announcement of the next question. The question being, as the result of this death game, I am, with 2 possible answers being dead or alive. Oh, well, that's a smart way to skip a night of questioning, since the majority of people are dead, is what a normal person would think. Watch what's about to unfold. Yep, in the 2nd episode of a death game, they revive the main group. Not only that, they revive every single person that ever died to this death game. It then cuts to Ryohei, who apparently did stay the entire time in the school, good call, holding the boring looking designed girl at gunpoint. She asks why would they come back to life before she gets shot and fucking dies. Good question. Why are they alive again? A second question pops up on screen and kills some people, which honestly I didn't care about because I'm just thinking, how are they alive? What do you mean they just came back to life? Why was that kid alive the entire time? I don't fucking get it. I don't even care anymore, man. Next scene is introduction to the main villain, or Nagito of the series, Hisoka. He's working with the blonde guy from the start, Ren, and Hikari to do some funny little antics. Hikari informs him about Jin, to which he reveals to the viewer that Jin has the prime right of rejection. Which I guess just means that this kid can reject to die whenever he wants. Wait, that's fucking absurd. What? He rewards her for this information by blowing up her car while she's still inside. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. Exposition dump, trauma dump, skip. Next day, the group split up. Sanetsu is walking alone until suddenly Ryohei appears. He tells Sanetsu that he wants to talk in private, while holding him at gunpoint, of course. Who the fuck is that? Oh, okay, yeah, no, makes sense, yeah. Is this guy fucking stupid? Okay, that answers my question, he is stupid. Ryohei tells him that Kaido was the one that killed him with a question. So I shot her. How is this a real person? He just doesn't care at all. He just immediately will tell her, yep, I fucking killed the bitch. I love him. Absolute highlight of the series. He then goes on to say that he thought Jin was the Emperor because of how he felt at killing him at point blank rage. Alongside that information, which I'm just putting on the screen. God, this anime is just info dumps. Aside from that, and more importantly, he reveals to us that he has acquired a prime right. Prime right of obtainment. He got this prime right during the first day, and he also explains that for someone to accept it, they must lose a body part. Yes, it's actually going there. He traded his fucking balls to have an unlimited amount of bullets. This scene was fucking intentional. This is why he didn't have reaction getting kicked. Oh my god, dude. When I first saw this appear on my screen, I feel like that one scene from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I went from thinking this anime was shit and a horrible death game to realizing that this is an absolute masterpiece in writing. The scene of him getting kicked in the balls and not reacting is a very crucial plot point. Tell that to someone out of context and you will put on a sex offender registry. Probably because you weren't wearing any clothes when you told them that. Why are you still naked? This opens up the possibility for all the stupid shit that may happen, every single little detail, to have the most outlandish and absurd explanation possible. Which to me shows that this author is a misunderstood manic genius, because no normal human being would write this as a crucial plot point. Except for the DeadTube author, but that's because he's a talentless hack who has to steal any idea possible to keep his dogshit manga on life support. Okay, here we go. Explanation to why they're all alive again. So basically, 2 negatives makes a positive? Yeah. In math, how are they fucking alive again? 4 more fucking minutes of exposition, they part amicably as they are now lifelong bros. End of the episode. Okay, so I want you to realize that this is a death game where by the 2nd episode, they established someone who can just choose to not partake in the game at any point, who isn't the mastermind and is just a normal participant, and they also revived every single person that died to the death game. This has to be heresy. There is no way that this is allowed. I have never witnessed anything like this in any death game. Not in any good ones and not in any bad ones. Could you classify this shit as a death game anymore? I mean, everybody's alive again and they say themselves that this isn't a game. So, I don't know. What I can classify this as is an essay because they just won't stop giving exposition dumps and they won't stop fucking talking. I mentioned before that if you aren't paying attention, this series will be completely incomprehensible to you. But honestly, I don't fucking blame you if you aren't paying attention because apparently you need to be paying attention for so long and just constantly pay attention. So, for the last episode, I am not gonna talk about the exposition dumps. I'm just gonna put those on the screen. So in conclusion for the second episode, a guy traded his fucking nutsack to have a gun with infinite bullets. And apparently, everybody's fucking alive again. Why is everybody alive? Senetsu's back with the group. He finds out Eren took the ride he found, but it's kinda shit, so it doesn't matter. She may also be evil, I don't know. They failed finding a post box, and Saya fills the show back up. But this is all part of a plan to cover who the traitor of the group is. Something which is mandatory to have in this type of work. There. I just summarized 4 minutes of this entire episode. Next day, they split up to go search for post boxes. Jin gets stopped by the teacher, who ends up confronting him in an alleyway, declaring that he must be the traitor. A fucking sushi chef shows from behind to restrain Jin and make him not be able to say the magic word. Exposition. This guy's named Soma, he also is the primer of the production, which keep in mind because it's gonna be really funny when it shows up. You don't want your friends to get hurt, right Jin? Or should I say traitor? You're wrong, Satoru, you're the traitor. Whoa, what? You're saying that this was all part of a plan that you've been fucking setting up for the first half of this episode the entire time? What? No! I am so mad. Yap. Teacher and leader were working together at some point? Yap. I heard you say that I'm actually really dumb. But actually, I'm super smart and I'm just bad at computers. Yap. Oh my god, it's been another 4 minutes. After the entire exposition dump and confronted the now known traitor of the group, Senetsu forgives him and tells him to please change and grow as a person. The teacher refuses and feels to us his prime right. The prime right of visualization, which lets him see post boxes. You know, I know this is probably a very useful skill to have, but this kid has the right to say no to anything. He can say no to fucking death. You can see post boxes, my guy. I think you got screwed over. Also, not only that, we know a guy who can have an infinite number of any item. Seeing post boxes? Even funnier. The kid lost an ear to say no to anything. The guy lost a fucking eye just to see post boxes. Anyhow, he goes on a rant about how if he teams up with Jin and Soma, they could easily win the death game. You see, I may be clearly evil, but that little kid was mean at some point. He may be mean, but he's still our friend. You piece of fucking shit, I'm going to kill you. The comedic relief, whose name I forgot, shows up from behind and smacks the sushi chef with a bat, freeing Jin. They all split up and run away as Senetsu gets chased by Soma. Is that fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card? Is that the Aoni? This guy just made life. This is a living being. He just made a monster appear from a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card. This guy can't see post boxes. That's his special skill. He may have gotten screwed over a little bit. The Aoni corners the protag, and it may be the end, so he calls out for help. And someone, the person he would not shut up and cry about, appears and slices the Aoni in half. He's so cool! Next scene, a giant robot comes to kill Eren. Caught this scene out of context is funny, but not as funny as this. That fucking robot just smashed the car. How did you tackle him out of midair? That's not enough to stop the robot, but luckily, Tojuro shows up with a really cool cape and a cool design. Hold up. He looks kinda awesome. Yo, he is awesome! Why is this dumbass shooting at a metal robot? Are you stupid? Sneaks up from behind, kicks a gas canister at the robot's feet, goes to take cover with the 2 girls as gunman! Shoots a gas canister and causes an explosion. Whoa! I can't even hate the scene, man. You can just tell that this author had just fun writing chuny shit, as they say. Put a definition to chuny right here, please. And you know what? Author, keep doing that. I'm all in for it. Stupid, cool, dumb shit is awesome. Keep doing it. Bravo, brother. You are not normal. The Euro, Ryohei, Saya, who could apparently shove 5 tons out of midair, and Erwin, who, wow, you're actually paper thin, have now decided to team up. So, we go back to our protagonist and his best friend. They're walking around trying to think of what to do next. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're kind of like very noticeable, like, you know, the hair. Also, your ass cannot stealth around. You know how much sound crutches make? That is not made for stealthing, so you're gonna be spotted anyway. She leads them to Hikari to share information about the Prime Rights and Jin. Is this guy fucking stupid? Also, isn't it like day 4? How are there so many people with a Prime Right already? Yap. Rika's Prime Right is that she can avoid any physical harm, which is actually really strong because it can be used on other people. So honestly, good job. And I also have to emphasize the point. That guy can't see post boxes. These are not on the same level. Well, you know, maybe it's a bit more on the same level since, you know, she does have a leg. Anyway, yap. Hikari's Prime Right is that she can copy Prime Rights. Being able to see post boxes. She reveals to them that she was the one that caused the second question to show up. Which is then followed by a scene which made me think I was being trolled. Watch.
てめえこの野郎てめえが父ちゃんと母ちゃんを殺したのかよ捨て野郎がなんちゃってはもう気持ちの整理はついてるしいつも心の中にいるからさ入ってました誰か死んだ時によく出る名言第1位心の中につうか体の中に父ちゃんと母ちゃんの細胞を融合してんですけどちなみに俺が多数決で多数派に該当しちまっても少数派の人の細胞を融合してれば生き残れちまうってのはみんな秘密だぞお前誰に言ってるんだよ
I made the show up, right? Like, that scene didn't happen, right? This entire thing has to have been made for shits and giggle. There's no way I'm supposed to take this seriously, right? I cannot fathom the absolute insanity I just saw happen on my screen. Let me break it down for you. Yuta learns that his parents died because of her, gets justifiably angry, immediately calms down, this turns into a comedic bit, total shift, goes and breaks the fourth wall, makes a joke about his dead parents being a part of him because he has the Prime by the fusion, which means that he fused with his dead fucking parents, and then goes on to reveal the biggest bombshell so far. This guy can avoid the results of any question by fusing with a group that has the least amount of votes. So, he can bypass losing a body part because he can literally fuse with anything, inanimate or alive, tell ability since, you know, he can fuse with anything. If he wants, he could become a helicopter and fucking fly away for all that matters. Or hell, you know, he could fuse into a building and just camp forever. And oh yeah, he's able to fuse with a live participant to survive to a question, which is the main thing killing people. And you know, maybe he goes and pulls a fucking perfect cell and absorbs them. You know, I would be surprised if that happens. You know what? Let's just say that he can also just use a Prime Rights. Who knows? And avoiding speculation, with just the stuff that we know, this guy is able to win the entire death game by himself, is able to survive most fates, and is easily, without a doubt, the strongest character in his entire death game. And he didn't have to lose a single body part for it. Google fucking maps! Let's wrap up this episode. Jesus man, I still can't get over that scene. Like, just think about the teacher. I keep thinking he's... Dude, stop! Prime right to make everyone obey you. So Taru, my guy, I don't know how to put this, but you've gotten the short end of the stick. Honestly, if I were in your position, I wouldn't let that slide. You know, push has come to shove, and I'm just gonna ask, I hope you know how to tie a noose, because you really want to fucking use it now. Next position, our main duo leaves as we go to the next scene. Rika goes to scout the area, as Hikari is now left alone. I be telling you man, you can't let your guard down with this bullshit power scaling going on. Like, at any moment in time, a closeted blonde man can teleport behind you and cut your head off. Like, I tried to warn them, they didn't listen. And that's it. That's the end of episode 3. I am a broken man. This anime sucks. It is some of the biggest bullshit I've ever seen. The first episode is absolutely horrid. I can't make any sense of it. And it decides to just pull out the craziest shit out of nowhere. and that makes it the best death game I've ever watched. But to be serious for a second, I think that this show is genuinely special. For the sole reason that I cannot for the life of me tell you if I actually think that this anime is horrible or an actual masterpiece. Like, I still don't know if I like it or hate it. So, the score of a 5 out of 10 is actually really fitting, because I believe you can either think it's the worst thing ever imaginable or the best thing ever. Like I said, I only watched the first 3 episodes and I have no idea where it goes from here. But with just those 3, I am willing to say that this anime is definitely a must watch, just to see what the hell happens next. Its chaotic and unpredictable nature easily makes this one of the most entertaining shows I've seen in a while. That said, I do think it's gonna end up being bad. At some point you can't surprise your audience with outlandish stuff and it may end up feeling like bullshit. But hey, I could be very wrong with that. They did make somebody tanking and not kick a crucial plot point. To conclude this video, I fucking hate reading. This show makes you have to pay full attention for every exposition dump, and it just won't stop giving them. But so far, it's been able to mesmerize me with the absolute chaotic stuff it's able to pull off. The second you fall asleep from the exposition dumps, you get waken up by seeing Megatron get summoned from a Yu-Gi-Oh card. So honestly, watch the show yourself. I need to know if I'm a maniac for thinking that this even resembles something good, a prophet for putting all my eggs into this basket and it turning out to be a masterpiece, or schizophrenic and it turned out that I made this entire thing up and there's been nothing playing in the background for this entire video. Anyhow, I am putting Tatsuketsu on the #1 spot, and with that comes an announcement. I like torturing myself, therefore I am announcing a new series/video, ranking every death game anime, and yes, this is part of that video. I don't know if it's actually gonna be a series. I think it may just be a big video that's split up into 2 or 3 parts. Man, I love being unemployed. Thank you for watching, wish you the best, don't fear death because maybe a random kid will go to a post box, insert a question, and revive every single person that ever died. See ya!